Okay, this is our new week of instructions for iPad music production for Year 7. And you can see at the top of the screen here that I've got the week 1 tasks up there from last week. So we've got task 1, download the iPad music production template from Shobi. Task 2, record the chords for the piano. Task 3, edit the chords for the piano to make them fit perfectly in time. And task 4, make a screen recording of your work and upload it to Shobi. Lots of people were able to do that, and if you were not able to do it for whatever reason, make sure you check back to watch the week 1 video, as you won't be able to do the week 2 work unless you've downloaded the template and added the piano part. So let's have a look at what we need to do for this week. So week 2, number 5, it says open your GarageBand session from last week. Right, let's do that first. So when you first go to GarageBand, you'll see all your files. If you haven't got this set on Recents, then just choose Recents from the file menu. If you haven't got that at all, then you can just tap that button at the top and Recents opens up. And you should be able to see the file name, template iPad music production 2020. I know it's 2021, but it's called 2020, and just tap it to open it up there. Remember that my screen is slightly bigger than yours, so that I can see tracks and smart piano at the same time. If you just want to see your tracks and you don't want to see this bit at the bottom, remember you just press the brick wall button at the top and it hides it, and then press the button again that's appeared, which in this case is the piano keys button, and it will reappear. So let's listen to where we got to last week. Okay, that's where we got to. I'll press the square to stop. Now I'd like us to understand a little bit more about what's happening there, so I'm going to draw something on the screen for you here. We've got 4 beats in the bar, and we represent that as 4/4 time signature. So 4, they're actually crotchet beats in a bar, which the number 4 at the bottom represents, but we'll talk about that later. And so there's 4 beats in our bar. Let's write them out. So when we hear the pulse, it's like somebody counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And just as we learnt in term 1, all of those pulse beats are of equal distance apart. Here I've got a metronome on my phone, so I can just press play and I can listen to the same 75 beats per minute as I hear when I'm recording this song. So if I was to count along for the beats, it would go like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I was counting exactly in time there. And I know in week 1 lots of you did that really well. I'll just stop that for a moment. Now if I draw the piano rhythm that you recorded last week, the rhythm was like this, and we recognise these durations of notes from term 1. These are crotchets and they're worth 1 beat each, so you can see that each fits under the numbers above. And so we could say this rhythm as T, 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 T. Okay, just as a recap on last week, what did we press on each one? Well, we pressed the A minor chord button on the smart piano twice. Then we pressed the F button twice for the F chord. Then we pressed the C chord twice, and then we pressed the G chord twice. So in other words, when this was the tick, we would play A minor, F, F, C, C, G, G. And we only had to record 2 bars of this because then it repeated, so we were able to use the loop function once we'd edited it. Now in today's session, we're no longer recording the piano. Let's just label that as piano. Instead, we're recording another part for the bass guitar. And the bass guitar is going to add some energy into our music. So, or some extra energy, maybe I should say. So instead of counting 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm also interested in the half beat, the bit of the beat that's halfway in between each pulse of the beat. I'll count that as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. The rhythm that I'm actually going to play on the bass guitar is this rhythm. And if you remember this from term 1, each of these notes that I'm drawing is a quaver, and you can see that there's 8 in a bar because they're all worth half a beat each, as opposed to the crotchets at the top that are worth 1 beat each. So let me continue drawing these out. So whereas those notes at the top we remember and we used to say T, 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 T. This is how it looks when you say coffee, 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 coffee. So if I start the metronome again, I would say 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it sounds faster, but the tempo isn't any faster. The tempo is exactly the same. But that's what I mean, that we're going to use these. These are called regular quavers because they never change, and that's what creates this new energy in our music. Okay, press stop for a second. Now the bass guitar plays a part that we call the bass line. And this is what we're going to play for the bass line. We're going to play A, F, 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 C, 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 G, 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 G. And you can see if you compare them above that the bass line is playing the A's at the same time that the piano is playing the A minor, because they're working together as a team. And at the same time, for the bass guitar playing the F's, the piano is playing the F chords, the bass guitar is playing the C at the same time as the C chord, and the bass guitar is playing the G's at the same time as the G chord. So you can see how those parts relate to each other. Okay, let's go into GarageBand and let's find out where we need to press to play these notes in the bass guitar. So, into GarageBand, the first thing that I'm going to do just now is I'm going to press the brick wall button. You must do that, because at the moment if I pressed record it would record over my piano track. I don't want to record over the piano track because I want to record the bass, so I just tap once on the bass guitar track. Now I could just press record, but the play line is in the wrong place, so I need to press rewind to the start, and then I'm going to double tap on the bass guitar and the instrument comes back up. Now we're going to use the smart piano instrument again, but listen to what happens if I play in the same row as we played for the piano. It gives me quite a high note. I don't want a high note, I want a low note. So I'm on this A minor strip and it's really low down. In fact, I'm going to turn it up just to give you a better chance of hearing that in the video. There we go, I hope you can hear that. Okay, so if I just put my click on over here to show you how this works, we're going to go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Now, I didn't play that very well because I was out of time at the beginning. I've got to really listen to that pulse. Let me do that again. Notice to play these bass notes, I'm playing along the row here that's right at the bottom, but I'm still thinking about which chord is written over the top to get the notes right. Okay, I've practiced that a few times, so let me see if I can record it in this time. Press the record button.
Your love never fails, it never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never
Press the square to stop. Don't press it too quickly because you won't quite have enough of this block to be able to loop later. Let's listen back to it, see how that went.
Love never fails, it never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails.
Okay, I'm quite happy with that. But as if I just jump back to this task, task list, it says number 6, record the bass guitar part into the bass guitar track. Right, I've done that. But then it says edit it using quantization. Now we did this very briefly last week, but you might have forgotten about it. So let's have a look. To quantize this track, we go to the mix button with the 3 faders. We go to track settings, quantization, straight. I don't know if you can remember this from last week, but the piano quantization value was 1/4. Let's see why it was 1/4. Because as we look along this whole bar, we wanted it to be accurate to 1/4 because there's 4 parts to it. This one, if we make it accurate to 1/4, it's not going to be detailed enough because this one's split into 8 different sections. So the quantization value for the bass guitar part needs to be 1/8. Let me go back into GarageBand. So I choose straight, 1/8, and then listen back to it again. Rewind, press play.
Love never fails, it never gives up, never runs out on me. Oh,
That's perfect. Now, I'm not sure about you, but to me, the bass seems really soft compared to the other instruments. On this occasion, I'm not going to turn the bass up, and you've got to be careful turning things up because your mix can get very loud very quickly. So I'm actually going to turn the other tracks down. This is how I do it. I'm going to start by closing the quantize bit by tapping on the mix button again at the top. And then watch this, I'm going to drag out the tracks just by very gently just pulling it out from the side. And then I can turn down, listen to it while you turn it down to get a good mix. So let's try that now.
love never fails, it never gives up, never runs out on me. Oh, love never fails, it never gives up, love never fails, it never gives up.
So I can hear those 3 parts kind of quite evenly now, and that's nicer to listen to. I can also hear to check whether the bass guitar part is perfectly in time. Remember thinking about that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and let's try that again.
Love never fails, it never gives up, never runs out on me. Oh, love never fails.
It is perfect, and I can feel that energy coming along now, which is really great. Okay, so I'm double tap like we did last week, press loop, and now it plays for the whole length. Let's listen all the way through.
Love never fails, it never gives up, never runs out on me. Oh, love never fails, it never gives up, never runs out on me. Oh, love never fails, it never gives up, never runs out on me. Oh, love never runs out on me.
Fantastic. Right, I'm really happy with that. That's great. Let's check on the task list to see what we need to do next. I think there's something else today. Yeah, so I've done tasks 5 and 6. Task 7 says program the drum kit part exactly as shown in the video. Well, this is the video that shows you how to do it. So this is the bit that you really have to concentrate on to get the drum kit pattern. And I'm going to take, as a drummer myself, I usually take inspiration in the rhythms that I play from the other parts that I'm playing with. So I'm going to be inspired by the piano part in the part I play with my bass drum and my snare drum, and I'm going to be inspired by the bass guitar in the part that I'm going to play with my hi-hat. And you'll learn in the future, you'll learn more about what those parts of the drum kit that I've just named are, and how you can do different things with them. So let's go to back into GarageBand, and remember to change your track before you re-record something, or else you'll accidentally record over. So first of all, we want to get rid of this so we can see what's going on. Tap on the brick wall button, go to the drums, and if this is in the way because it's too far across the screen, you can just swipe it backwards and it moves it. So if I double tap on that, now this is different. I've created a different template for us here, and in fact you can see that this is beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4. So it's quite similar to that piece of music that I wrote out for you, but it's just easier to show you the pattern for the drums here. So on beats 1 and 3, I'm going to switch on the bass drum. That's what I usually play with my right foot when I'm playing. And in beats 2 and 4, I'm going to play the snare drum, which I'd usually play with my left stick. Then, this one here, I'm going to play coffee, 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 coffee. I can listen to it by pressing this button at the bottom. That's what I needed to do to program it. So it's literally switching those things on, but you've got to be very controlled that they're the only things you switch on and you get them in the right order in the right spaces. Let's just check on the task list again. So once I've programmed the drum kit, task 8 says record the drum kit part into the drum kit track. Okay, well I've got the drum kit track selected at the top already, because that's how I can see this instrument. So just rewind to the beginning. It doesn't matter whether you can see the tracks or not to do this, you can still rewind to the beginning, and at the top just press record. You don't need to have this on at the bottom, just press record and then watch what happens.
Your love never fails, it never gives up, never runs out on me.
You want to let it play all the way across the
fails,
screen.
it never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, it never gives
You're waiting for this strip to go green, and then you can press stop.
Never runs out on me. Love never fails,
So
it
press
never
stop.
gives.
And there it's done it, it's recorded in your drum track. And on this track we don't need to quantize it, we don't need to edit it, because it already has worked out where everything is going to fit together. So let's press the brick wall button and let's just listen to it all the way through, to listen to those 4 tracks playing all together.
Love never fails, it never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, it never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, it never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never runs out on me. Love never fails.
Okay, well, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so at this point, if you're happy with everything and you think you've done your work correctly, then you pull your finger down from that top right hand corner and press the button to make a screen recording. Obviously I can't show you the screen recording right now because I'm using that function to create this video, but make sure when you create the screen recording this week that this screen is what's on the video, and make sure you rewind it to the beginning and then press play, let it play all the way across the screen, then press stop, stop your screen recording and then upload it to Shobi, and that is your work done for today. Okay?